December 15th, 1987. Dear Will, I walked into my house after spending the night at your place, and the first thing my dad asked me was, "You and Jane get back together yet?" And I explained to him once a motherfucking again that no, Jane and I are not getting back together, and that we mutually agreed that we're better off as friends. Then he remarked something along the lines of why I'm always at the Byler's Hopper house if not to see my sweetie pie, and I had to keep my composure for long enough to tell him, I was hanging out with Will, Dad. He laughed in a way that was so mean, Will. It was cruel, mocking, and slightly angry. I ran upstairs and had to look at your art until I felt better. But his laugh was still there in my head. It's like he knows about me, even when I haven't explicitly told him. And he never gives up an opportunity to ridicule me, regardless of if I'm rumored to be or actually gay. It got worse over dinner, when my mom asked me about how my time at your house was. She phrased it as, "How did last night go at Will's?" Not Jane's. That made me so fucking happy for some reason. My mom is so kind without even trying to be. I genuinely have no idea why she and my dad are still married. They're like polar opposites, and not in the good way where opposites attract. But I told her we had a nice time and she smiled and told me she was glad before going back to her sweet potato casserole. I'll bring some next time we hang out. I know you love it. Anyway, back to my dad. He snorted as if spending time with my best friend was the funniest fucking thing to ever happen in the history of the Wheeler family. I racked my brain to try and figure out what was such a huge joke to him, but he continued on, saying, "I swear, kid, it's like he's your little boyfriend or something." Then I snapped. You won't be proud of me for this because I yelled and stuff, but I hope you'll at least see me as brave after I tell you this. I turned to my dad with a wild look in my eyes, probably, and said some shit like, "Yeah, me and my boyfriend, Will Byers, had such a great time last night. We stared longingly into each other's eyes for hours. Then we cuddled, then we kissed, and then we got each other off. It was so hot, Dad. Truly, I wish you could have seen." But then my dad roared at me to go to my room, which shut me up, thankfully. I don't know what would have happened if I let my mouth keep running. I most likely would have outed myself. I didn't, though, so I decided to get out of there before my dad changed his mind. I ran up the stairs and locked my door, and now I'm sitting here at my desk writing this letter that you'll never read. I know what I said was a lot. I mean, it was pretty vulgar. Plus, it's never actually happened, and it never will happen. So I'm sorry about that. Bottom line, I don't think I'll ever be able to come out to my parents. At least not to my dad. He wouldn't let me out of that conversation with my heart still beating. Here's to being in the closet for life, I guess. Love, Mike.